Hey, so three big mistakes when you're trying to house train your puppy. What are they? One, you don't have a crate. Why? Why don't you have a crate? That's insane. Two, you're free feeding. Why are you free feeding? What is free feeding? Free feeding means you're leaving the food bowl down for the entire day so your dog or puppy can just graze and do whatever, and you have no schedule. You have no idea how much they ate. Nothing. And three is getting those damn pee pads. Don't get pee pads. Why do you want your dog to pee in your house or poop in your house? You need to teach them to go outside and eliminate outside. Period. I'm not talking about special circumstances, you live on the 80 floor high rise and that type of thing. That's a different subject. We're talking about people who just, you get a puppy or you get a new dog, they're not house trained, and what problems you're having because you're not following my 5 easy steps to house train your puppy. So, getting back to these mistakes, the mistakes are you need to get a crate and you need to get the right size crate. That's most important. I know, like, when you have a puppy, they're like this big and they might grow into, can't fit on the screen, but bigger than that, a lot bigger. So crates are sold where they have dividers now. I like plastic crates. They're cozier. They seem to be safer for travel. They seem to be able to just really they're just more durable with impact. Very Kennel used to be like one of the top ones, but there are other plastic kennels out there that do have, some safety guidelines to them. So that's pretty awesome. Now, free feeding. There's a couple reasons why you don't want to free feed your dog. You don't want to free feed your dog because of controlling their diet and as far as how much they're eating and when they're eating, especially when you're house training them. You need to know how much they're taking in. You need to have them on a schedule in the beginning so that you're both successful at house training. So the other reason why I don't like free feeding is, let's just say something goes wrong and your dog is sick and they have to go in for emergency surgery, or they've had an upset stomach, you don't know what's going on. Your vet's going to ask you questions about their diet, about how much they've had to eat that day, and what they ate that day. And you are not going to be able to answer them other than the diet is whatever brand of food that you just pour into the bowl. Okay. The other thing is, especially with puppies, they're just going to keep eating, and they're going to be shitting a lot if you just let them eat as much as they want. I use the guideline on the back of the food bag to just give me a little bit of an idea of how much I should be feeding my dog. Now, of course, I feel like they're going to want you to feed them the maximum amount for your dog's weight, but just like us, their metabolisms are different. They're going to burn food differently. They're going to grow differently. So use it as a guideline. If it says, let's see, feed your puppy 3 cups of food 3 times a day. Let's just say, no, we're going to cut that back a little bit. Let's see how your puppy's doing. Of course, talk to your vet about the amounts of food. But bottom line is, you don't want to overfeed because you don't want to deal with more house training accidents. And you also don't want to deal with house training accident. And the pee pads, come on, no pee pads. When you put pee pads down, what does your puppy do? They shred them. You leave them down, you leave them in some X pen, which is just a pen with no top on it. And you come back home and your puppy's, shit and peed everywhere, but maybe more than likely not on the pee pads because they don't know what they're there for. And they've shredded them. So stop making these mistakes and get a hold of me. Hey, all right, so check it out. So we know what not to do, right? We're like, I've got to get a crate. I cannot use pee pads and no free feeding. So what do you do? Like, how do you make this thing happen where your puppy and you are successful? And you want to minimize as many, if not all, accidents in the house. So how are you going to do that? Well, the first thing you're going to need is a crate. Okay, we've got to just get a place where it's a safe haven for them, like a den. They like dens, and they're den animals. If you think about it, they have that kind of security in those enclosed spaces, under a table, even under a desk. A lot of your dogs like to go under things. So crate can kind of mimic that. It's their own little safe den. All of my dogs have always been crate trained, either as a puppy, if I got them as a puppy, or as an adult dog. Like, you didn't have a choice, especially if I just adopted you. Like, I don't know your history. I don't want you to destroy my house. I don't want you to have house training accidents, etc. So anyway, so get your supplies, get your crate, get the correct size crate, get a divider. If it's a plastic crate, have somebody cut a piece of wood for you to fit inside of the crate if you want to get a big crate, because your puppy is a lab and they're going to grow up to be like really big, and you don't want to buy a bunch of crates. Okay, so these are certain things that you can do. You can go to Home Depot. If you're not handy or have the ability to do it, just go to Home Depot and have them cut it out for you. That's all. Bring the crate with you if possible, or do measurements, take pictures, etc. They'll help you do that. So, and get your enrichment toys, okay? Kongs, lick mats, slow feeders, all of that stuff is going to happen in the crate. We want it to be super positive. Make sure you have a 4-foot leash. No retractables. Screw the retractables. They're a nightmare. Okay? So, and we need training treats, because when your puppy eliminates, you're going to give that puppy a treat out there, outside, not inside, outside, while you're still outside with them. Okay, so movement and location is the second thing that's a very important step. You want to pick one location. You want to train your dog to go in that particular area, especially if you have a yard, you're not able to get out every day to clean it, whatever the issue is, okay? Just have them go in one spot. It's really convenient for many reasons. Don't forget to add your cue also. Go potty, hurry up, whatever you want to do. You could say donut for all I care, whatever, okay? And the movement piece is, you're going to walk your dog back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in about maybe like 15 foot, 10 foot, 15 foot area, okay? That movement makes your puppies, insides, like the bladder and stuff, and the bowels kind of stimulated to go potty, which is important to know, because your puppy's sphincter muscles aren't fully developed yet. That's why it's hard for them to hold it for a longer period of time. Also, remember, they're babies, they're brand new, so be patient, okay? And that's also why movement causes movement. So anyway, pick a location, walk back and forth, okay? And for how long can your puppy hold it? This is what I like to do. I like to take their age in months. So say they're 8 weeks, that's 2 months. So I take 2 and I add 1, that's 3 hours. So that's like my maximum time. And then as I get to know the puppy a little bit more, maybe they can't hold it the full 3 hours, or maybe they can go like maybe 3 hours and 15 minutes, okay? So you've got to be aware of their age and how long you expect them to hold it. Don't expect them to hold it through the night even, especially if they're little. They may, but most likely they're not going to. They're going to have to go eliminate outside, okay, in the middle of the night. And so getting back to your crate training, you want to make that a positive place, so all the meals, all the treats, everything good happens in there. You feed your puppy the meals in the crate, okay? And then again, we've got movement and playtime. When you're playing with your puppy, guess what? You better go outside and take a break, because they're going to pee or poop. Don't forget these 5 easy steps. So you're ready to crate train your puppy. You don't know exactly what to do because you got this crate and you got all your enrichment toys. You've got everything you need, but you don't know what to do. So set up your crate. And this is what I like to do with my crates with puppies. I like to have the crate wherever I'm going to be. So at nighttime, especially because, we need to get some sleep. I like to have the crate in my bedroom at nighttime. And then if you can't get another crate, move that crate into your living room. Like if you guys are hanging out in the living room, or if you work from home, like this is kind of my home office, so out in the kitchen basically. So I would have the crate out here with me. Some of the plastic crates, probably some of the metal ones too, come with wheels, so you do have that option, so it's easier to move the crate around. And you want to do that because I feel like they're such social animals, right? Dogs are super social. And if we put them in a crate and they're in the other room, we're just starting this process with them. It's probably not going to go that good for you. They might whine and cry, and then you're going to feel bad and you're going to reinforce them and let them out of the crate. And I'm going to say, no, don't do that. Okay. But listen, so all good things happen in the crate. We're going to make it positive. Never, ever, ever, ever use the crate for punishment, ever. You want it to be a safe place, okay? Just like we like certain areas to be safe and secure, like when we come home or when you go to bed or whatever. Make that a safe area for your puppy, okay? And how long, it depends again on the age of your puppy. When we're talking about house training in correlation to crate training, you want to take their age in months and add 1 to it, and that's your time. So 8 weeks is 2 months, and you add 1, that's 3 hours. Sometimes at night, it's like magic happens, and your puppy sleeps almost through the night or all the way through the night. And you're like, oh my God, they're so young. But that does happen. So when that happens, celebrate. Okay. And then let's talk about the reality of crate training and what people are so afraid of. The whining, the barking, the pawing. They don't want to be mean to the puppy, et cetera, et cetera. You're not being mean to your puppy. You are teaching them that this is their little house. This is their safe place. This is where all good things happen, period. It's just a good, safe place. Now, let me tell you what not to do. Don't trick your dog. So, a lot of people like, oh, throw a treat in, and the puppy goes in, or even the adult dog goes in, gets a treat. And while they're going in, you're like, boom, and slam the crate door. That's not nice to do. Dogs don't need another reason not to trust us. Puppies don't need another reason not to trust us. Some animals are really suspicious. So let's keep it positive and let's keep it, without trickery. We don't need to trick our puppies. Hopefully, if you are getting a puppy or a new dog, you've carved out some time in your schedule to deal with these things and expect sleep loss, because that's going to happen. Your puppy's going to cry and you're going to have to deal with that and you're going to lose sleep. It's just the facts. So I want you to avoid the whining, the barking, the pawing. Get your puppy tired, exercise your puppy, and train your puppy so their brain is tired. Those are ways to get your puppy tired. Exercise and brain games. And what I mean by that is your enrichment toys, or get a puzzle, whatever. Teach them to deal with the puzzles and finding things and all that kind of stuff. You want to do this for the future of your puppy. You want to future proof your puppy. We're going to do a video right after this. I'm going to do a video right after this on future proofing and what that really means. Okay. But this is kind of the base of future proofing, getting them used to being in an enclosed, containment, and having the ability to deal with it emotionally for them and for you. But for them, because it's about your puppy. If you board your puppy, if your puppy has to stay at the vet overnight, or if somebody else has to watch your puppy, there are many different variables. If you have to evacuate because the weather's done some crazy crap in your town and you have to evacuate. Okay, so these are all the reasons why I slam this home. Future proofing your puppy. What does that mean? Okay, simply means that you are going to do your best to get your puppy prepared for anything that could come down the pike in your life. Okay, what happens to you is going to directly affect your puppy. Don't say it's not going to happen to you. You have absolutely no idea what is going to happen in your life. Okay, there's no way of knowing. You can say all day, oh, well, that's not going to happen. Trust me, shit happens, and your puppy is going to pay the price if you don't future proof your puppy. And not only that, you're going to pay the price because life is going to be way stressful when things go awry, because that's how life is. It's just how it is. So get prepared, okay? What to do. So, what do I mean by future proofing? Socialization is huge. You better socialize your puppy in a group class, at a good group class, okay? Make sure they're all age appropriate, they're the right age, and because you want to make sure they all have their puppy teeth, not their adult teeth, okay? Make sure they're fear free. No force is used. Science based methods are used in the puppy class, okay? So you've got puppy class for socialization. I want you to find a puppy that they can play with on a regular basis. Also, if you know any adult dogs that are excellent with puppies, okay? Do that. Get them used to big dogs, small dogs. Maybe get them used to a cat. Why not? Throw it in the mix, okay? So we have socialization to dogs. Socialize them to people, tall people, short people, old people, young people, like kids, babies, okay? Um, do whatever you can do, all right? The other thing that you need to make sure, we just talked about crate training. Please, please, please make sure your puppy is successfully crate trained, because guess what? At some point in your dog's life, you're going to wish you crate trained them when they were a baby, because something's going to happen. They're going to need to be crated. They're going to need to stay in somebody's house. And that person might not like animals, but you've got to stay there because you evacuated because there's a hurricane coming right towards you and you need to get out. And the only place you can stay is with somebody who doesn't like dogs, or maybe their dog doesn't like other dogs, but it's the only place you can stay. I speak from experience. I had Rufus, dog aggressive dog. I could crate Rufus anywhere, anytime. It was never an issue. He was in all different types of circumstances. I traveled with him. We flew together. We drove everywhere together. I could crate him and put his crate inside of a walk-in closet and close the door, and he was fine. It was no problem. And that's how actually all my dogs were, because that is the most important thing to me, is to be able to set them up to be successful. Okay. The end result is that you're going to have a well-adjusted puppy. Okay. The other thing I want you to do, along with traveling and I mean, maybe you can't travel. That's cool. Go for a ride. Get somebody to take you for a ride. Go for a walk. If you live in the country, go to a busy town. Okay. Make sure you're giving your puppy all different types of options, and bring your treats and bring the trainer. If you need a trainer to go with you, that's awesome. Get your puppy prepared for staying with somebody else, by themselves, in a crate. Get them prepared for being without you if necessary. Get them prepared for staying at the vet's when they have to have surgery, so they're not whining and crying and driving the staff insane. Okay. There's so many different things. Get them used to everything that you can think of, especially noise. Noise is huge. Get a lot of puppies that are adult dogs that are from the country and they've never been near any noise, and people get them in a shelter and down in some city, and the dog's like, holy crap, what is all this noise? And there's a lot of anxiety, and so I want you to future proof your puppy. We want our puppies to be very well adapted and able to adapt. Get them on an elevator. Do whatever you can do to make your life and your puppy's life easier and more successful and happier